Oh man, guys, what's up? Just got in. Busy, Black Ops mission, the usual stuff. I'm out, just doing the chaos stuff, super top secret, super, classified. Can't really talk too much about it. Probably already said too much. But what's up, my friends? What's up, Notification Platoon? All you awesome individuals that were here early into the stream. We got Austin, we got Jesse, we got Jamelia, we got Edward, we got Ricardo, we got TFR60, BGMR, one of our Chaos Armory commanders. We got Bit Expert, which is also one of our Chaos Armory commanders. A name that's in Arabic that I don't know how to read. Johnny. We got Grant. We got Evie. We got Jay the Vorn in the house. We got Mackenzie. Badge MW. Timothy. Bill. Johnny. All sorts of awesome individuals. So welcome to my fun little live stream where I get to hang out with you awesome individuals. Do my best to answer some questions. We're going to talk a little bit later about some giveaways. I'm going to be trying to do some cool giveaway stuff in the coming months, and we'll talk about those a little bit later on. Even maybe a possible meetup in Texas. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We'll kind of dive into that kind of stuff. But first, we'll kind of start off with answering guys' questions. So if you have questions about the United States Army, about whatever, pretty much almost anything, obviously preferably Army, but we can go outside the scope of Army stuff still too. But ask those in the chat, right? You have the little chat right over that way. It took me a second because I got to look at the screen to see which way it was to point. You have the chat over there, right? Maybe it's there, maybe it's on the screen. I don't know. Maybe it depends on how you're watching this, but drop your question in the chat. Sometimes when the chat does get pretty full and I've gotten a little bit behind in the chat, I do skip probably several questions, and I apologize for that, but sometimes I got to do that to kind of keep up with some of the demands. And you can always just re-ask the question. You can hit me up on Instagram. That's also another option. And usually I get back to you pretty fast on Instagram within less than a week, maybe a few days. It really depends on what's going on. I think I'm pretty much caught up on Instagram. There might be a few questions on Facebook. I'm not quite as using of Facebook as I do like with Instagram. But Instagram is usually the best way to kind of do it. I have some emails that I haven't even replied to. Emails like probably one of the worst ways to probably do so, other than actual like snail mail. That would be the worst probably way to try to contact me and ask me questions and hope for a reply, because I really don't like writing letters, so that's probably a pretty slim chance. So we'll get to you guys' questions here in the chat. Let's see. Let me scroll through past all the hellos and the what's ups and everybody filtering in, and let's see what we got for our first question to start it off. Let's start off with Nasir. Here has a question. Looks like if MOS requires a driver's license, can they accept prohibitionary driver's license? You need like a learner's permit kind of a thing? No, I don't believe so. I think you got to actually have your license because they want you to be able to drive right away. They don't want you to be able to have to do the requirements and they have to still go take your test and everything. So, I can't give you the 100% answer on that, but I wouldn't see that being a thing where they would allow you to have like a learner's permit and to be able to do so. You're probably going to need to have your actual legit driver's license if the MOS covers or requires that kind of a thing. So yeah, I would say so. Am I looking forward to the Sopranos movie? I don't even know if I've ever watched like the original Sopranos. I'm kind of picky with movies. Like I like movies, but I don't know if there's some movies I'm just not that into, right? I don't think I've watched any of the Soprano movies or any of the Soprano stuff. I don't know. Is it hard to get an 18 X-ray contract? I've heard it's fairly simple to get the contract. Obviously not very simple to actually pass and become a Special Forces though. Mainly just because like Special Forces really needs people, because they don't just take everybody that tries to apply for it. So there's going to be a ton of people that apply for it, go to the school and then fail and don't get selected or whatever. So they still need usually a lot of people. So I don't know if you're 100% sure, but I feel like from a lot of things I've heard from people, it's somewhat easy as long as you qualify for everything, right, to get an 18 X-ray contract. But to actually go through that and get selected, that's another story. That's probably a big challenge right there. Will Spanish help me with rank progression in the military? No. The military really doesn't care too much about Spanish. I mean, it might be helpful to you in some ways, but like it doesn't give you any kind of perks or anything. I know some people are hoping that like Spanish gives you language pay, but Spanish is not one of the languages that pays for languages, because we're not currently invading Mexico or anything like that. But yeah, there's nothing I can think of. Maybe something on the National Guard side, like if you're doing stuff with the border, but for the most part, I have never heard of anything of people getting any kind of advantage because they can speak Spanish. Have any soldiers told you they watch your videos in the class you teach? Yeah, it happens almost every class, it seems like. There'd be some classes where I think that people either don't know who I am, which I'm not, Brad Pitt, I'm not Tom Cruise, so I'm not like someone that everybody knows. But sometimes there's classes that probably don't know who I am. Maybe some that do, but they don't want to say anything. Or maybe they've just seen my videos, but they're like, okay, cool. He's not like a big time celebrity that I need to mention that I know who he is and try to get a picture with him or anything crazy. But there is occasionally. Last week I didn't teach a class because I was doing other stuff at work. But the previous class before that, I had 2 soldiers that recognized me, I think, or 1 soldier that pointed it out, and then a couple other soldiers like, oh yeah, that's where I know you from. So it does happen here and there, and it's pretty cool. I don't mind it at all. So if you do happen to be in the Army and you come take one of my classes on Fort Carson, yeah, say hi. Say what's up. Tell me you love my videos. If you hate my videos, then you guys don't mention it, so that way you don't hurt my feelings. Demands are usually high on this chat. It depends. Depends on the day. Right now we've got 43 viewers right now that I want to see, so sometimes, it can get crazy. Sometimes it can be pretty slow, so it really just depends. By the way, we do have a like goal of 100 that we try to get to before the end of the stream. So make sure that you hit that like button down below so we can meet that goal. Otherwise, if we don't meet that goal, then that's how many push-ups you owe me. And you're going to have to knock out that many push-ups. So if you want to avoid doing push-ups, then cool. Or if you'd like to choose whether or not you want to do push-ups, because you can still do push-ups if you want to. But, I got to smoke you guys if you guys can't reach the like goal. It's just the way it goes. I'm sorry. You're the one that clicked on this live stream. You're here now. Now you're dedicated. 100 likes. Hit that like button. Jay the Vorn says, Chris, can an officer give an order to any enlisted even if they're not in their direct chain of command? Technically, yes, but the thing is like even like in NCOs, like if you have an NCO that's from another platoon, from another unit or whatever, trying to like bark orders to another soldier, technically the soldier, has to listen to him, but that soldier's leadership is going to get pissed as to why the hell is this person step on that person's toes and getting in their business, right? That's my soldier. You don't be telling my soldier what to do. If you have something you need done, you can coordinate with me and maybe we can work something out. But otherwise, that's my soldier. So you leave him alone. Let me deal with that soldier. It's kind of the same kind of thing with officers kind of too, where you're going to piss off that chain of command. If you're a lieutenant, you're a captain, and you're telling some soldier you need to go do something, and you're not in their chain of command, their direct chain of command, their leadership's going to get pissed at you. So to avoid that, you don't usually have that happen anyways, because I think most soldiers have that kind of understanding of like, hey, that's not my soldier. I'm not going to go and put my foot into someone else's business. Now, if you're on detail with that individual, then you kind of fall under them. But if it's like a random ass thing where you're in the motor pool and that person's in another platoon and they're trying to get you to do something for them, no, people don't usually do that anyways. What is this? Oh God. A puzzle for you. You're drenched in sweat in the Middle East. Fortunately, your barracks has a Cadillac bathroom. It's a Cadillac bathroom. It's noon, midsummer. Do you take a shower? At noon? I'm gonna go with... I mean, it's probably gonna be pointless. You're probably gonna sweat your ass off. If you're not doing anything the rest of the day, sure, why not? Probably a good time because the water would probably still be hot. You take the shower sometimes at nighttime. That's when a lot of people take showers, and the water's probably gonna be cold. So, I don't know. Is that a riddle though? Is there just more of a question? Because I feel like if I still had to work the rest of the day, then no, I wouldn't take a shower. But if I was done for the rest of the day, then sure, why not? Probably be a great time to utilize some good hot water. The audio's not working, then I think that might be you, because everybody else can hear me. I can see the things. Yeah, otherwise I would see a bunch of other people saying the audio's not working, so it must be just be you. Was I really think it's going to be a dishonorable discharge for refusing COVID vaccine? I don't know. I don't think so. I've heard a little bit of stuff from some people, and it sounds like it's going to be other than honorable, so it's not a dishonorable. Because usually you have to really mess up for a dishonorable. Dishonorable one is like you committed a crime, and in a lot of cases, a dishonorable discharge is looked at in the same way as a felony. So that's usually a pretty tough one. There could be other than honorable, which is basically not honorable, not a dishonorable. It's just kind of makes it to where you don't receive any benefits. They could still do under honorable conditions. I forget what the other kind of terminology is. So it can end up being that. I think there's a lot of options. I haven't heard officially. I've heard some stuff from people of what they've heard and what their leadership has been saying that they might be. But I think a dishonorable, I feel like is probably extreme. I don't think they'll end up going as far. I could be wrong, but I get the feeling that they're not going to go as far as a dishonorable discharge, because that really messes up someone's life with a dishonorable discharge. Deploying as a 15 Tango to Kuwait, will you stay in Kuwait? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That really just depends on your unit. I can't even remember what a 15 Tango is. Is that like a UAV operator or something like that? I think. I don't remember off the top of my head. But that really just depends on your unit's mission. If you're deployed to Kuwait, you could spend most of the time in Kuwait, but then there could be like missions that take you into Iraq to do some stuff, and then if that happens, then sometimes you might qualify for a combat patch, right? Or you could just spend the whole entire thing in Kuwait. So that really is going to depend on your unit as far as what their mission is, what they're doing, what their primary purpose in Kuwait is, if that operation takes them into Iraq or anything else like that, or is it just solely sticking with that? If I watch anime, I do not. I do not watch anime, so I know nothing about anime. Cannot relate on any level there. I'm 1 point away from being a 25 Bravo. Would they waiver 1 point in order to get the MOS that I desire? I think it depends. I don't know for sure. It might depend on the needs of the army for that MOS. If they are really in need of people for that MOS, then maybe. I don't know if this is for sure though. I'm just kind of speculating. But if that's an MOS that's not necessarily in high demand, then they're probably gonna be like, nope, try again. So I don't care if it's only 1 point or half a point, try again. So that I can't speak on it for sure. So it might be something along those lines though. But you can try, just give it a shot. And if worst case scenario they say no, then I guess you got to retake the ASVAB and hopefully study harder and make up that point and then qualify for it. Mackenzie says, I saw your deployment items video and I'm about to head out in a week or so. What are some ways I can expand my career and what opportunities should I pick up immediately if time allows? 15 Tango here. I mean, it really depends on the deployment itself, right? If you're doing a non-combat deployment, you might have a lot of free time depending on the mission. If it's a combat deployment or you're going to something like Kuwait or Iraq, then you might not have the free time to do a whole lot. And it still depends on the mission too. But career opportunities, I mean, I would say one probably possible one that I could recommend is, especially if you're going to, well, I guess even on a non-combat deployment too, but try to go to the board. If you can go to the promotion board while you're deployed, those ones are usually easier because you're not having to memorize things like what army regulation covers this and what army regulation covers that and what's the amount of inches you're allowed to have between ribbons above your nameplate or whatever, right? So all those really exact things you have to study real hard for. A lot of times when you're deployed, they don't mess with those because you don't have time to really study for book answer type of things like that. So they ask you scenario-based questions, and for some people that might be a lot easier to do with the scenario-based ones. So sometimes the board when you're deployed for a promotion board is easier. So I would say if you're in that window where maybe you might be eligible for a promotion board, try to go to a promotion board during that deployment. You won't have to do it probably in your dress uniform. You can just do it in your regular uniform. So that makes it a little bit easier because you're not having to try to get your uniform perfect. So that's just one less thing you have to worry about. And then just some of the questions sometimes are a little bit easier. So hopefully it goes well for you though. Is Spec Ops worth it? I couldn't tell you for sure. I would assume if that's your kind of thing and the thing you're interested in, then maybe. You might deploy a lot, so if you have a family, maybe for those people, maybe not so much. I guess it just depends. Do I speak Spanish? I do not speak Spanish, Ricardo. I may know some words, but nothing to allow me to have a conversation with anyone. What's up, Sean? How's it going? How about how much free time do you get during basic combat training? What kind of stuff do soldiers do during that time? Most likely very little. Usually the free time you do have in basic training is kind of reserved for you to be able to maybe use the phones if you're allowed to do so, maybe write letters. But most of the time, they will find something to fill your time with. Whether that's cleaning, whether that's training, whether that's getting smoked, they usually fill that time with something. So you don't have a whole lot of free time. The free time you have is usually for those kind of things. Like maybe they'll grant you a little bit of time to use the phones, or a little bit of free time where you can write some letters, or you're doing some personal hygiene stuff in the evening. So you have some time to be able to go and take a shower, or shave or whatever, right? You have time in the morning to shave too, but would usually don't expect to have much free time. If you do get free time, then you're super lucky and really awesome. But most of the time, you won't have that freedom. Not until you get out of basic training and move on to other things. A collab with Angry Cops soon. I don't know the guy. I mean, I follow him on Instagram, and I think I've commented before, like on his posts, and he might have said something back or whatever. He doesn't follow me that I'm aware of. I don't think he subscribes to me on YouTube or anything. I don't even know if he knows who the hell I am, so I wouldn't see that being a thing. And I don't ever see him collab with anybody except for maybe like Donut Operator, so I don't see that being a thing, probably. How does the thumb down affect your channel? If the thumbs downs were probably higher than the amount of likes on a video, then it possibly would tell YouTube that, hey, maybe this title or this thumbnail does not match the actual content, and so they'd be least likely to recommend it to somebody. But if the percentage of likes is much higher than the dislikes, then it doesn't make a difference at all. So that's usually just the main thing. So if there's like already, I can't see, like on my side of what I see right now, because I've seen the studio of where you see the quality of the stream and everything. It shows me the likes, but not the dislikes. If I go to like the channel, I can see the dislikes. But if there's like one or two right now or whatever, that's not going to make any difference. It wouldn't be unless like right now I see 37 likes. So if we had like 50 dislikes, then yeah, that could potentially make it to where YouTube would be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't recommend this video to other people that are looking for this content, because apparently it doesn't match what the title says it does. Let's see. I'm not too far behind the chat yet, so we'll keep on going where I'm at. So I was talking to a National Guard recruiter. I was thinking of joining and then switching to active duty in the Army. How hard would that be? I'm a senior in high school, and I really want 12 Bravo. Sometimes it can be difficult. If you're like, let's say you did a 4-year contract, right? You did the National Guard, you did a 4-year contract. Try and say after 2 years, try to switch to active duty. That might be very difficult, because that means your National Guard unit has to release you, and they may not be very willing to want to release you. So they may deny your request to active duty. Now, if your re-enlistment window is open and you re-enlist for active duty, then yeah, maybe your chances are probably pretty likely, because they know that either you're going to re-enlist or you're not going to re-enlist, and they're going to lose you completely in the Army altogether. So they're not going to deny you to re-enlist to go active duty. They might give you a harder time, maybe, but depending on the unit. But don't think that you can just go and try out National Guard or even reserves for a little bit and then just go active duty whenever you want. You're going to have to probably wait for your re-enlistment window. You can still try, and people have been able to pull it off. It usually just depends on the unit and how desperate they are to need people. If they really are in need of your MOS and individuals, then they're probably going to deny your request to go active duty. But if they are pretty over strength, they're pretty high on numbers, then yeah, they might be like, okay, yeah, you can go active duty. We can probably use the less numbers because we're over strength right now. So. We got the highest ranking warrant officer process pass with an O1 who salutes who. The warrant officer would still have to salute the officer because warrant officers are in between enlisted and officers. So a lieutenant still outranks a CW5. Even though like the CW5 has more authority really than that lieutenant does, based on the structure, it's going to be a thing where that CW is probably still going to render a salute first. 15 Tango is a Black Hawk repair. Okay. Deploying to Kuwait, rumor has it that we will go somewhere else afterwards. Is Iraq, Turkey, and Syria still super dangerous? I couldn't tell you for sure. I know there's still some stuff happening in Iraq. It's not like as crazy as it used to be. Things have probably kind of reduced a little bit, but not 100% that allows you to say like, oh, it's perfectly safe and don't worry about anything. It's much less likelier that you'll get killed possibly, but not like a guarantee that you won't get killed. But the combat situations that are happening in Iraq are less likely to happen. But it's still, I guess, still dangerous, just not as dangerous as it used to be. Is there an age limit to join Airborne? I don't think so. I think it's still gonna be like your basic, like a requirement to be able to join the Army kind of a thing. But like once you're already in and you're over 35, I don't know if there's like an age limit that kind of cuts you off from being able to go. I think it's more of a physical type of thing, so I don't really know for sure though. Is CID a good way to get into federal law enforcement? It could be. Like if you're looking to work for the FBI, I knew a guy that did that, and the requirements that I was told from him was you had to have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. You had to have at least 2 years of military experience. So it didn't matter what your MOS was, as long as you had 2 years experience, and you had to do the internship with the FBI. So other outside of the FBI, I don't know, but I would imagine that would be, if you could get into CID, that'd probably be pretty good. You can't just go directly into CID. You have to apply for CID later, though. Business Insider YouTube channel did a video profiling parachute riggers. Oh, my life feels complete now. Good deal. Good deal for Business Insider. You have In-N-Out Burger close to you in Carson, Chris? Not close to Carson, but in Colorado Springs, which is a city right outside of Carson, and it's on the north end of town. I've been there once to the one here. I like In-N-Out. It's okay. I don't claim it's the best, even though I'm from California. I don't claim that In-N-Out's the best burgers and everything. I like them. They're good, but they're not the best. But I've only eaten there once. Me and the girlfriend went there early enough, right just before like the lunch hour kind of rush hit. Because right now, at least when we went, and that was probably about 3 months ago, something like that. We got there in just enough time to where it only took us like 30 minutes to get through the line, so it wasn't too bad, or maybe it was only 20 minutes. It wasn't too bad. But then after we got our stuff and we were out of that line, the line was really long. So I don't know if it's still like that. It probably is. I don't know how long it's going to take for that damn thing to kind of like die down. I think they're going to build another one too. Oh man, Evie's already going to bed. Night, Chris. Got to wake up at 5 or in 5 hours, but I'll watch the rest in the morning. Well, thanks, Evie. Have a great night. Hopefully you have an amazing day at work. Appreciate you stopping in. Chaos, what Army schools do you recommend? I don't know. I mean, sometimes it just depends on your career path. You always have to do like the NCO academies if you're going to go that route and become an NCO. If you really want to do like airborne or air assault, then that's kind of personal preference. It does help a little bit with promotions, not like a lot. It's not going to give you that big of an advantage, but I think it just depends on what your goals are, right? What are you looking to get out of the Army? What is your future plans and everything like that, and what schools kind of line up to help you with that future plan? The only schools I really did was like hazmat, which is like a thing I had to do. I had to do combat lifesaver course. That's a pretty common one. And then I had to do like the NCO academies that I did. I did both for E5 and E6 NCO academies. Outside of that, I didn't really do anything, and I don't feel like it made that much of a difference. I mean, probably NCO academies. Whoa, phone fell over. I felt like you know, the NCO academies maybe helped me a little bit in my civilian career, but outside of that, I don't know if there's really anything that really stands out to be that important. How long of a contract do you have to get the reenlistment bonus? Well, the minimum contract usually is 2 years, and the 2 years can still possibly get you a reenlistment bonus, but bonuses aren't guaranteed. Just because you're reenlisting doesn't always necessarily mean that you're definitely going to get a bonus with that. Sometimes if your MOS is over strength, or maybe not under strength, or whatever the case is, or whatever it is you're trying to reenlist for, they may not offer bonuses. And it doesn't matter if you're doing a 4-year contract, a 2-year contract, a 6-year contract, there might not be a bonus available for you to reenlist. And you might have to try to like, be like, okay, well, what can you give me? Can you give me choice of duty station? Can you give me this or whatever? But a 2-year contract is usually the minimum you can reenlist for. And if it qualifies for a bonus, you can even get a bonus for a 2-year contract. They're smaller usually. Like I've reenlisted before with a 2-year bonus or a 2-year contract and got a bonus, but it was only like $2,000, right? Whereas if I would have reenlisted for like 4 years, then it might have gone up to like $4,000 or $5,000. So usually the bonuses are bigger based on how many years you're reenlisting for, smaller if you're only reenlisting for like the bare minimum of like 2 years. May not be able to keep your rank if you go guard to active. They should. It shouldn't mess with anything. The only thing that really messes with your rank is if you have a long lapse in like service. So if you did the National Guard, you got out of the Army, and then you were out for like 4 or 5 years, and then tried to go back in but on active, then yeah, maybe you might not be able to come back in the same rank. But if you're going directly from reserves, National Guard directly into active, then yeah, you're gonna keep your rank. And also on National Guard reserve sides, it's actually harder to rank up because you have to have a slot. So they have to have that availability on the National Guard or reserve side. Let's say for E4, right, for a specialist, right? If there is no E4 slots for your MOS in that reserve unit or the guard unit, you might be stuck just being sitting at E3, even though you qualify for a promotion. That's why, like in the active duty, you don't have to worry about that, because if your unit doesn't have a slot for you as a, let's say, E5 or an E6 or whatever, they're going to move you somewhere else, right? They can't do that on the reserves and National Guard side, so that just means you don't get promoted until someone leaves or someone gets promoted. So it's actually easier to get promoted on the active duty side, harder to get promoted on the reserves and National Guard side, so it wouldn't affect your rank for trying to transfer over. Love the content. Well, thanks, Ricardo. Was I a private at one point in time? Yeah, I mean, I started off from the very bottom and worked my way up. Hey, take the PCAT. Any idea what to expect and any advice? Just make sure you study. I did a recent video of like an app that's free that you can use to study, or you can just find whatever you feel comfortable with. I mean, that's just one recommendation. You can kind of see how the app works. Oh, but then you can find your own stuff online if you really want to. But yeah, make sure you study. The PCAT is shorter than the ASVAB, so that's a little bit nicer. And then if you score well in the ASVAB or on the PCAT, then they won't make you take the ASVAB, so that makes it a little bit easier. Chris, I've heard the Air Force allows females to have ponytails in uniform too. Yeah, I mean, the Air Force has always had that for a while. It's only the Army that recently kind of allowed that, where before the Air Force already allowed that. Larry says, Five Guys, son. Talking about the In-N-Out thing I was making. I actually probably like Five Guys, probably the best. If we're comparing burgers and stuff, In-N-Out's good. But yeah, I think Five Guys probably has the better burgers. Difference between 12 Bravo and 11 Bravo, both infantry, right? Not really, no. 12 Bravo is your combat engineer, right? So they're doing things like maybe like route clearance. Sometimes they're doing stuff with explosives. Those kind of things like that, where infantry is a lot of on foot. Sometimes if you're in a certain type of infantry unit, you might have like strikers or something like that. So no, they're not the same. Far, I'm pretty good in the chat, so I won't have to jump really far or anything. Thoughts on Army SMP program in college meaning full-time college student in ROTC program in Guard Reserve. It's great if you're trying to go officer. If you're wanting to be an officer, then yeah, I think it's probably a great program to go through, get an education, become an officer, make better pay, not have to live in the barracks because you're not enlisted. Yeah, I think if that's your goals, then that's probably a pretty good path to go for. How hard is it to get air assault school in your contract? That's not something I've ever heard of anybody getting in the contract. You can get airborne in your contract, but air assault is usually more of a unit-based thing. That's more of a thing where you get to your unit and you request to go to air assault school, and they'll send you to a nearby school because there are multiple air assault schools where there's only one airborne school, right? So air assault school usually works differently. So that's, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody getting air assault in their contract. So that's usually something you have to wait until you get to your unit for, and then try to request for your unit to want to spend the money to send you to air assault school. So am I excited for the new Call of Duty Vanguard? No, not really. I don't really care. Battlefield maybe, but I don't know. Hello there. I'm going to enlist at the end of the year. Is the ASVAB free? Yeah, it's just a test. You'll go through the recruiters. So you either do it in school, like you can do it in high school, or if you don't, then you just talk to a recruiter, whether Army, Navy, whatever branch you're interested in, and you tell them that you're interested in joining the military. They'll have you take the ASVAB. There's no fee or anything to take the ASVAB, and it doesn't matter like how many times you take it. Like if you failed it the first time and you want to retake it in a month, then you can retake it. It's not like there's no point where you have to like pay for it because you failed it a bunch of times. They might get to a point where they might not care about wanting to let you take it because they don't think you're going to pass it, maybe at a certain point, but yeah, there's no fee. So, by the way, guys, I see we're getting pretty caught up with the chat, so I'll let some more questions kind of build up. Let's talk about first a giveaway. I'm going to be doing some giveaways probably starting in October. I want to try to, do a fun little giveaway for the road to 100,000 subscribers on the channel. So, what I'm going to be doing is starting in October. We're going to have like it'll probably be done in the live stream to where you come to the live stream and maybe at some point during the live stream I said, okay, I'm going to take entries for the giveaway. And maybe it's something like just type 1 in the chat and I'm going to take a screenshot maybe of like the chat or something to capture all the usernames that put a 1 in the chat. If you did it multiple times, it's not going to count. It's only going to count for 1 per live stream though. So what we're going to do is that'll count as 1 entry into the giveaway. If you come back for the next live stream and you do the same thing and you participate in, let's say it's entering 1 in the chat, then that's 2 entries into the giveaway. And then on the last live stream of the month, I'll randomly pick one of those individuals, and if you came to all the live streams, then maybe it gives you 3 entries, maybe it gives you 2 entries, depending on the month, depending on how many you showed up for and participated in, and then you'll win a prize. I think the prize I'm probably going to be doing is a $100 gift card for Amazon. So 100,000 subscribers, $100 gift card, kind of a thing. I can't do a $100,000 gift card, obviously. I'm not freaking rolling in the dough over here on YouTube. So we'll do like a $100 probably gift card probably thing, and we'll probably do that October, November, and December. Hopefully December, maybe even sooner than that would be nice. We 100,000 subscribers. But regardless, even if we hit 100,000 subscribers in, let's say, November, we'll still do it in probably December too. So I think we'll still kind of road to 100,000 subscribers each month. So October, November, and December, I'll give away a $100 gift card. And all you got to do is show up at the live streams to enter into it. And then the last live stream of the month is when I'll announce who won. We'll kind of do like a random thing. So we'll do that kind of a thing. So kind of keep an eye out. We'll do something kind of fun. And hopefully you'll have a chance to win a $100 gift card Amazon and pick up a prize. Probably will have like a stipulation of you got to be over 18 probably. Maybe, I don't know if that really matters, but I don't even know if it'll matter if you're in the US because it's going to be sent over email too. So probably doesn't even matter if you live in the US probably. So I don't know, it might be pretty lenient on the rules for that. But yeah, we'll do something like that. A little confused on the ASVAB and PCAT thing. How is it decided which one to take? Your recruiter usually decides that. I mean, sometimes they are just easily able to have a lot of people take the PCAT, which is better, which is what you want. And then sometimes they may have like a quota kind of thing. I don't really know what they what determines that, because some people will have to take the ASVAB and some people just get the PCAT. So the recruiter somehow has some kind of way that they determine which one you have to take. What that is, how that is, I don't know. So hopefully you get lucky and you only have to take the PCAT because it's shorter and hopefully less complicated. Because the ASVAB takes a long time to take. I think it's like a 2-hour test or something crazy. I guess I jumped in the chat a little bit. Let me count it. It's not a whole lot of questions. I'm already caught up in the chat. We're running out. I mean, what are we at time-wise? 41 minutes? Okay, all right. Hell, maybe we'll just make a shorter live stream. I don't care. What's up, TY? How's it going? Five Guys is the best. Yeah, I like Five Guys. Five Guys is awesome. See, and then we got this right here. Mystic Ship. I don't know. I have a question. Well, guess what? If you would have asked the question, I would have answered it right then. Now, I don't know. No promises. But we could have answered the question right there. Instead, you just wasted that moment. Could have answered it right then. Earlier, I did a little poll. I was kind of curious as to what you guys thought about camouflage uniforms, right? So we did a poll over in the community area. So it looks like OCP with 54% of people said they like the OCP out of 901 votes. Looks like, pretty low on DCU for the desert camouflage. And then, of course, I wouldn't expect a lot of people to vote for the digital pattern, for people liking the digital pattern. But there's even some people that said other. I mean, I saw in the comments some people saying like Tiger Stripes and some of the old school Army fatigues and stuff. So, okay. But yeah, I mean, me personally, I think I like the OCPs probably the best too. They probably look the better ones. There's things about the BDU ones that I liked. Like I liked having the rank on the collar. I think that was kind of cool. I like having the Velcro. I know there's some people in the comments that said they don't like the Velcro on the patches. They'd rather have them sewn on, but it did make it easier for switching them out, especially if you change units or whatever. You don't have to mess up your uniform because you have to try to cut it off and then get a new one sewn on. So I like the Velcro for that kind of purpose. But I miss having. I think I like the rank better on the collar compared to on the chest. I don't know, my personal opinion. But if you still want to vote, I mean, you can still head over to the community tab. That's still kind of an available thing to vote inside of the community tab on which camouflage pattern you like the best. But I don't know. I mean, I think OCP is probably going to be the winner on that, as it's got quite the lead there, 54% compared to second place at only 28% with BDUs. So, yeah. What is it? I'm hungry. What should I eat for dinner? Well, I don't know. What are the options? Maybe you should eat Five Guys. We just talk about Five Guys, right? You'll get some Five Guys, get some delivery for that. Something like that. We have a like goal, my friends. 100 likes, what we're trying to get to before the end of the stream. You take a look down below and you have not yet liked the stream, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that like button. Also, down in the description box down below is my Instagram. So like if you have a question and you didn't get it answered here, or I skipped it, or you just didn't feel like asking the question to the public chat, then hit me up on Instagram. Links down below. The Discord channel, if you want a good way to interact with the community, that's a free thing that you can join the Discord channel. And you can go in there and you can talk to other veterans, talk to other people. You can get some advice from some veterans. We have some verified veterans in there. Awesome stuff. Join the Discord. It's free to do. My recruiter told me he had a recruit last week hop hot on their drug test at MEPS. Is that a dishonorable discharge? Like, well, if he did it at MEPS, he's not even in the Army yet. So you just got disqualified probably from being able to join. If you were already in the Army, then yeah, it can be. I don't know if they do a dishonorable. I think they might be other than honorable. I don't know what they do, but that can result in you getting kicked out of the Army. The Army's gotten pretty strict with that. I know, like in the early 2000s, like when I was early in my Army career, they were a little bit more lenient on that stuff, to where they would just give people Article 15, so they probably reduce them all the way down to E1 in rank. They would end up getting fined, basically reduced in pay. They would end up with extra duties. That means you'd be done with work, and then you start to continue working all the way up until midnight. every day for however many long days they wanted you to have it do it for. But the Army since then has gotten pretty strict where that's a less likely of a scenario they will kick you out of the Army. But if it was at MEPS, that means you're not in the Army yet, and that just probably makes it to where that person will be disqualified from being able to join. I did the PCAT and got a 77. They made me do the ASVAB, and I got a 55 or 57, don't remember. Do you know why MEPS might have made me do the ASVAB? Well, usually they want a pretty high score on the PCAT. I don't know the scoring scale. I don't know if 77 is high or low. I don't know the scoring scale of it. But usually if you don't get within a certain range on the PCAT, then they want you to do the ASVAB. So usually you have to do really good on that PCAT, and then if you do really good on the PCAT, then they'll just use that score for it. But if you do poorly on the PCAT, then they make you take the ASVAB. What was my MOS? I was at 88 Mike. Am I allowed to wait after I finish the Army training, or do they make me go to the military directly? No, if you go off to Army basic training, you're in now. You know, there's no like, oh, I'm going to do my training and then take a break for a little bit. No, you're in at that point. Once you go to basic training, you're in now. Now that's your job. You do your initial training. If you're not doing OSIT, then you go to AIT. And then after AIT, you might get some time to go home, maybe, depending on the time frame. But then, yeah, you're off to your first unit and you're starting your thing. You have weekends off, and then you can build up some vacation time and eventually take leave and take vacation. But yeah, no, you're go off to basic training, you're in. You're now in the military. How many tours did you do? I did 2. I went to Iraq twice. First time was in northern Iraq to Tal Afar, and the second time was to Baghdad. I didn't retire though. Wonder when everyone is. I don't know. I don't know if we'll make the like goal. I mean, 100 likes. We're only at 61. We're probably getting pretty close to the end of the live stream, just based on the flow I'm getting from things. It doesn't seem like there's too active into the chat, so good for you guys because you probably get a lot of questions answered, but probably might not give it much longer. Was supposed to leave for basic last week. Date got pushed to October 25th, 11 X-ray with airborne and going to Alaska. Well, good luck to you, Eric. Hopefully all goes well. It's pretty good if they already told you you're going to Alaska. Wonder how did you get that kind of a gig where they already told you where you're going to go? Good deal. Is it worth going SF or Rangers nowadays? I've been stationed at Fort Campbell for about a year now, and I've been thinking about it, but what do you think they are doing nowadays? I don't know, honestly, too much. They're still doing deployments. Where to? I'm really not too sure on that. I think it just depends on your personal goal. I mean, it's still probably, like, if that's something you really want to pursue, even if you probably don't get to do anything too high speed, it's still a pretty cool accomplishment to say, yeah, I made it Special Forces, because that one is a really hard accomplishment. Rangers is still pretty difficult, not quite as high as Special Forces, but still a very difficult accomplishment to make. And so, if anything, you should still be proud that you made it to that accomplishment to be able to make Special Forces selection or Ranger selection and get into the Rangers. So either way, even if maybe you might not do the high-speed stuff you're hoping to do, it's still an amazing accomplishment to be able to say that you were in the Rangers or you were in the Special Forces. Enlisting by the end of the year, can I get off-season bonus? I think they have like an off-season bonus. It doesn't matter like the season time frame. It depends on the MOS. So if the MOS you're trying for is high in demand, then they might offer a bonus. If it's not a high in demand MOS, then they probably won't give you shit, and you won't get a bonus. And also, if you have kind of barely minimum ASVAB scores, sometimes that eliminates you from even being able to get a bonus, even if that MOS offers bonuses. So that kind of just depends sometimes. So I might get 80 Mike if it's available, or if not, then 11 Bravo. Yeah, I mean, you got to go for whichever one you kind of more interested in. Sometimes it's helpful for outside jobs. So if you like wanted to be a truck driver, like I didn't pick an 80 Mike because I wanted to be a truck driver. I just kind of picked it just because I wanted military experience in general. But if that's something you're interested in, then it might be a good one. Start accumulating leave as soon as you start basic, yeah, pretty much. But you can't use it to take a day off during basic, exception as emergency leave. Yeah, that's the tough part. Like compared to the civilian world, compared to the army, right? You know, like I even saw someone on TikTok kind of point out this thing with sick part, where you know if you don't feel good in the morning, you can't just take a sick day and try to recover. No, your ass has to go to sick call, and if the medics at sick call determine that you're bad enough that you need to stay in the room or stay in the barracks, stay at home or whatever, then you get quarters, and then you can probably, you know, sleep it off and kind of recover then. But if it's not severe enough where they're going to give you quarters, then your ass still goes to work even though you're sick. And we're on the civilian side, you know, you're not feeling well, even if you're fine, you just want to play hooky from work the day, you can call in sick and you can use a sick day maybe. And then vacation time, same kind of thing, right? You can't just go and randomly use a vacation day in the army because you want to make it a 4-day weekend, or you don't feel like coming in on Monday, so you're like, I'm going to use a vacation day and then come in on Tuesday, right? You can't do that in the army, but you can do that in civilian sites. So that's always kind of a fun thing, you know. And you have to in the army, you have to wait until block leave comes about and then take maybe like a week or two off or something like that. You know, it's not required for you to take vacation, but you can't do anything cool like that, like just, you know, take a random day off here or there. Yep. Time to warm up for the push-ups. Yeah, I don't. We got 68 likes. Trying to get to 100. I don't think we're gonna get there, guys. I don't think we're gonna get there in today's stream. I think everybody's maybe busy watching WWE's Extreme Rules, like my girlfriend's doing upstairs right now. Maybe they're watching their favorite football team. Is there still football teams playing? You know, go Raiders. We won, undefeated still, so that's awesome. I don't know, but it's fine. We'll get through it. Is leadership really bad? It depends. I mean, not always, no. Sometimes you have great leadership and they're amazing. It varies, right? And there's no way to tell if you're going to get good leadership or bad leadership. It's flip of a coin sometimes. I feel like, in my experience, that may not always be the case with everybody, but in my experience, I feel like I had good leadership more times than I had bad leadership. So I don't think it was as often where I had bad leadership as I did good. Usually it was good leadership, but there were times where I had crappy leadership too, so you never know what you're gonna get. What? Girlfriend's popping in. I don't know if you guys could hear her or not because of the way the microphone's situated. She's asking me about Extreme Rules. She's down here, I think, checking on laundry. Do they let you take leave or emergency leave while in the field? Yeah, I mean, emergency leave anytime, right? If it's a justifiable type of thing, then they'll let you take emergency leave. It doesn't matter, like if you're in the field, if you're deployed, but it has to be justifiable. Leave in general, no, not while you're in the field. They usually have designated time frames in the Army when you're on active duty, of course. You know, obviously you don't have this situation in National Guard reserves, but active duty, obviously, they'll have usually time frames where they'll allow soldiers to take leave, and then you're allowed to do so. Any tips for getting into shape for the military? I'm pretty overweight as a sophomore in high school, and I really am having trouble losing weight. I really appreciate any advice. My advice usually is cardio. I feel like cardio is a great way to like burn fat for someone who's like maybe overweight and wants to like drop some weight, kind of a thing. So go running, right? If maybe running is still too advanced, you know, you're not quite at that level to go running, then go hiking, right? Go climb some hills. Go throw a backpack on with some weight and go walk around your neighborhood for a few hours, right? You got to start at your level and work your way up to the point of being able to run 2 miles without having to stop to catch your breath. You should be able to run easily 2 miles. It doesn't have to be a fast pace or anything like that, but a medium pace, and not need to like stop to catch your breath. You should be able to just continuously run. If you can't do that, then yeah, you're out of shape. So it depends on you to kind of get to that level, and you can't just try to rush into that level. Otherwise, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna burn yourself out, whatever. But cardio is usually a really good one for burning fat. So running, jogging, bike rides. Like I said, if you're really out of shape, you're really overweight, then you might have to start off with just trying to burn some fat by doing road marching, right? Going hiking. So it depends on your level though, but cardio stuff is usually a really good one that I recommend. Kind of liking being a chaplain assistant. I've heard people that said they loved being in that MOS. Sounds like they really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. It was really laid back. It was really enjoyable, kind of a thing. So I've heard good stories about like people enjoying that. Yeah, super chat. Haven't seen it come through yet. VGMR with a super chat. Far leg runs. Run or jog for 15 to 30 seconds and walk or jog for 30 to 60 seconds. Do this for half hour a day and work your way up. Don't rush it. Yeah, that's a really good way to like really work on your lung capacity for being able to run well, is by doing things like that. Or we would do that with like telephone poles. So you'd be like, okay, this telephone pole, we're going to sprint to the next telephone pole. And you get that telephone pole, maybe like the next one, we'd walk all the way up to that one, or jog really slow up to that one, or maybe the next two or whatever. And then you get to a certain point and we do the same thing. We sprint as fast as you can. And that was really great for like working on lung capacity to kind of do that kind of thing. So that would probably be a pretty good way also to kind of build up your stamina to be able to run like for 2 miles and be in good shape. So good tips from VGMR right there. Also with super chat. So appreciate the super chat. But yeah, that would probably be a good way as well to probably work on getting in good shape. I see Larry says, go Dolphins. I'm sorry, man. Dolphins lost. I'm not going to get too cocky because I feel like it could come crashing down any day now with the Raiders. I feel like I'm pretty lucky right now to be 3-0. That's not very likely of the Raiders sometimes. So I won't talk crap because I might jinx it. Why didn't you consider special forces when you were in the Army? I was never interested in like really doing anything really at high speed in the Army. My goals were always just to spend originally only 4 years in the Army, but it turned out to be basically almost 11 years that I ended up being in for altogether. But my initial plan was only to do about 4 years just to get military experience and then go to college and have that military background, right? Even though it was only going to be 4 years. But so I wasn't really interested in going really that intense with things. I feel like that's someone who wants to be like a career soldier probably that goes special forces most likely, not somebody who just wanted it as a temporary thing. So I was never interested in that. In my state, 2 of my MOS choices are critical, 88 Mike and 12 November. How would I qualify for a bonus? Ask your recruiter about it, right? Ask your recruiter if they have a bonus. But if the MOS qualifies for a bonus and you have decent ASVAB scores, because if you have really low ASVAB scores, then that disqualifies you from being able to get a bonus sometimes too. So just talk to your recruiter. Ask your recruiter about it. Hey, I've heard that this MOS can give me a bonus. What are my chances? What do I got to do? Right? So just bug the hell out of your recruiter about it. What do we got? 74 likes? Oh man, guys. 100 likes. We're getting close to the end here. We're going to be ending this live stream here pretty soon, so. Is there a duty station better than Carson Conus? What is the Conus of Carson? I'm hoping to PCS there after my time in recruiting ends. How is aviation unit there? I don't know about the aviation unit here in Carson. A lot of things with like the deployment, or not deployments, but duty stations really depends on you sometimes, and like your interests, and sometimes the unit too, because you could be at the greatest, duty assignment, and you have crappy leadership, and that kind of ruins the whole experience of the duty station. Now you hate that duty station because you had, crappy, horrible leadership type of thing. So that sometimes varies. I mean, in a good scenario, Carson's a great duty assignment, but it also depends on you getting good leadership too. Outside of Carson, I don't know. What is the cons of, or did I put, did I say Conus or something like that earlier? Is there a duty station better than Carson Conus? Yeah. What are the cons of Carson? I mean, I don't know. I really like Carson though. Cons of Carson though? I mean, right now with COVID, there's a lot of restrictions. But I don't know. I don't know what the cons of Carson would be. Sometimes you have units that go to the field a lot, so that probably makes it a little bit difficult. Maybe. But I don't know about outside of Carson, like another good. I mean, Germany is pretty good. If you're looking for something stateside, I don't really know too much. Super chat. Disaster Gaming, dropping $5. Appreciate you. What kind of exercises do you recommend before shipping out? I ship out June 2022 as a 13 Romeo, kind of excited but nervous at the same time. So for your case, you're going to be in the field of, you're going to have to take the ACFT, because the ACFT is going to become a mandatory thing March of 2022. So that means that you will have to pass the ACFT to graduate basic training. So I would study the exercises that are involved with ACFT, work on those kind of muscle groups, maybe even try practicing the ACFT. I don't know if the recruiter stations like near you have any kind of way for you to kind of like take like mock ACFTs. Maybe they have the equipment, maybe they can help you out and try to do those kind of things. But you're gonna have to do like the T-style push-up. You're gonna do the 2-mile run. You're gonna have the leg tucks. You're gonna have, you know, the medicine ball throw, all that stuff. So really probably research exercises that are gonna help you in that range. But definitely run too. Cardio is a big thing too. I've mentioned that earlier too. Make sure you can run. Make sure you can do 2 miles without needing to stop to take a break. But maybe focus on a lot of those muscle groups that are going to be needed for the ACFT, because you'll have to pass the ACFT at the time frame that you're going to go to basic training in order for you to graduate. What's the purpose of hurry up and wait? A lot of times, the reason for it sucks a lot of times, but the reason for it is if I know that we have to do mission at 9 o'clock and I tell you guys to be there at 8:30, then I'm taking a risk that some of those people aren't going to make it in time for whatever reason, overslept, whatever, right? But if I need to kick off mission at 9 and I tell you to be in at 5, that gives me a lot more room to play with in the event that something goes wrong. Someone doesn't show up on time, something's not ready on time. I have a lot more room to kind of play with. So a lot of times the Army does that so that they can execute on time and hopefully not have to fail and not be able to execute at the time that they wanted to execute at. So sometimes that it results in hurry up and wait. Hurry up and get there, hurry up and get ready for the mission, and then wait because everything went well and we're ready for mission now. Compared to showing up maybe only 30 minutes prior and everything does horrible, so-and-so doesn't show up, this isn't working, and now we miss the time frame that we were supposed to execute this mission at. So that's usually why they end up doing the hurry up and wait thing. I use the RAS plan to get in shape workouts on cardio. Okay, I don't know, I'm not too familiar with that, but that probably is a good thing that someone can probably look up and try to find the RAS workout plan and probably do that. I'm sure that if it's something to prepare you for RASP, I'm sure it's probably something that's going to get you in great shape. Do I regret exiting or extending your time in the Army? Not really. I didn't want to do it at the time. It probably gave me more experience and more responsibility as a leader, because then I became a non-commissioned officer and then spent, several years as a non-commissioned officer. So that probably was helpful. So no, I mean, at the time, maybe. At the time, I didn't want to be in for as long as I was being in. I wanted to get the hell out and move on to something else. But after it's done and over with, I don't regret it. I mean, maybe it would have been nice to, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how things would have played out if I had gotten out after 4 years. Would I have been successful? Would I have not been successful? Would that have screwed me over? Who knows? But no, I don't really regret it. My plan is be a ranger, then get into the FBI hostage unit right after I get out of the service. Good luck to you. Just make sure you do your research, find out. I know for like FBI, you usually have to have like a criminal justice degree, like a bachelor's. And so just do your research to find out what the requirements are to be able to apply for the FBI, so you can kind of work on that as well. Hopefully I can do 20 years, even though I'll be getting out 54 and get some beat in the Army. Good luck. Hopefully it works out. Is it possible to train with SEALs after going Special Forces? Maybe if they're doing some kind of joint operations. I mean, there's not like anything where you can like just volunteer for that. So it just kind of depends on what your mission is. I personally love Carson. Great gyms. Yeah, I like Carson too. Carson does have good gyms. COVID kind of restricts you from being able to do all the awesome stuff that I normally love about Carson. But I mean, like you have like any major sporting event you want to go to, it's available. Outdoor stuff, indoor stuff, all sorts of things. So I like that about Carson. So that's why when I got out of the Army, I stayed. And even like what are you saying here, like Garden of the Gods, Incline, Manitou, yeah. Great places. I think I have a vlog too that I did a while back of me doing the incline too. So if you guys have never seen that, that's pretty cool. Because I was getting in shape with trying to do the Bataan Death March. I did that. What's up, bro? I'm a 12 Bravo with 15 months left in my contract. Not sure if I want to re-enlist or not. Any suggestions on a good MOS to reclass to? I got a 118 GT score. With a 118, anything really over a 110 usually allows you to pretty much do anything practically when it comes to reclassing for the most part. I would say, like, do you have something that you're interested in? Because 12 Bravo combat engineer, right? You know, if you have something you're interested in, right? If it was law enforcement, if it was construction, if it was video production, try to see if maybe there's an MOS that would be more interesting to you. Like if that is something you want to do, you want to stay in the Army, but maybe change MOSs to something you want. See if it's even an option. I mean, it's not a guarantee, right? But if that's an MOS that's available and they allow you to reclass to it, then maybe that, you know, makes your time in the Army more enjoyable. So I would say it depends on you, right? Like for me, like I think it would have been cool to go to, like, I think it's a 25 Victor. I think they changed the name of it, but there's a video production MOS that would have been pretty cool. Hell, even maybe re-enlist for Army, what was it, active AGR, so Active Guard Reserve. That's basically, you're still active duty, but you work with the reserves. So it's, from the people that I've talked to that did that, where they went Active Guard Reserve, I heard it's like really chill. And everybody says like you barely do anything. You're just really preparing for the Guard or the Reserve units training coming up and making sure everything's coordinated for that. And then outside of that, you're really not doing a whole lot, but you're still on active duty. So you still get paid active duty pay, but you're working with reservists. And so it's a lot less stressful than being an active duty. So maybe even looking at that, right? Looking into AGR. So good luck to you. Let's real quick, because we're getting close to the end of the live stream here. We're at 85 likes, trying to get to 100. Getting there. We're close. 15 of you, right? Is that right, math-wise? 15 of you have not liked that stream. Hit it, and we can get 100 likes, and we'll be amazing. Everything will be great, and you'll have an amazing night, right? I might be coming to Texas coming up pretty soon. If I do end up going down to Texas here pretty soon in October, I might try to do something where if you're in that area, then maybe we'll meet up for a little bit, for a few hours or whatever, maybe do pizza. I don't know yet what we'll do. I don't even have it locked in, confirmed yet. But that might be a thing on a Saturday where I might be in the Fort Hood area and doing some stuff there, and I might be able to meet up with some of you that are in that Fort Hood area. So I'll probably put out more information when I know for sure if I am going or not. Well, if I know I'm going, then I'll put something out. If I'm not going, then I'm just going to leave it at this. Probably won't put out anything. But if I know for sure that I'm going, then I'll put out some information. Maybe have a thing where, like, on my website, RSVP for it, and then we'll see, get a good number of how many people are interested in doing something like that, and then put out some information as far as where we might go to link up in that Fort Hood area, kind of thing. Whether it's on Fort Hood or off base or whatever, I don't know yet. So just kind of be aware of that. If you are someone who is interested in that and maybe linking up with me in the Fort Hood area in October, then make sure you keep an eye on my social media. Links, all that is in the description box down below. The Discord channel, so I'll probably post about it, probably on Instagram, probably post about it in the Discord channel, maybe in the community feed here on YouTube. So I'll try to put it out some good places for those of you that are interested in that and maybe are in that area. Let's do a few more questions. 91 and 91 likes. We're so close. Maybe we'll make it. Maybe we'll pull it off and still make it. Do the branches work together in peacetime? I was told Spec Ops do. Sometimes, I mean, even on deployment, sometimes they work together too. I mean, sometimes the Army works with the Marines. Marines work with Navy all the time. Sometimes the Army works with the Air Force, especially like on Fort Carson area. There's some Army units that work with Air Force individuals. So yeah, I mean, that does happen sometimes. How often it happens may just kind of vary on the location, but yeah, it happens. Did you have any specialists in your basic training class where they treated differently? A little bit differently, not too much differently. Like, I know we had a specialist in our platoon and they made him the platoon sergeant. He was a specialist because he was prior service. He was in the Navy and then transferred from the Navy over to the Army. but I think he had like a gap in between him getting out and then coming back into the military, so he had to go back through basic training. But he was a specialist, and they made him the platoon sergeant, so he had a little bit more responsibility he had to do. That's a pretty common thing. Like if you're coming into the Army as a specialist, they might make you be a platoon sergeant, so you have to do a little bit more responsibility in basic training. But for the most part, nothing too crazy. Like you won't get anything like you get like a cooler room where you get to have free time more than anybody else does, or anything else like that. That you just might be thrown into more of a leadership type of role in a way, because you're a specialist compared to everybody else. Let's see. Was there any prior service in your basic? Oh, you actually just talked about it. In AIT? So in basic, it was that guy that was the Navy one I just talked about. AIT, I think there was, yeah, but they got treated a lot better in AIT though. I had a prior service in AIT that thought he was hot shit and got us all smoked one night because he told the drill sergeants they were doing D&C wrong. Man, I had a few prior service in AIT, and we would only see them during training because they stayed in these different like housing area kind of a thing, different barracks that were much better because they're prior service. So they didn't stay in the same barracks as us. They didn't march with us to chow. They were kind of free to do whatever they want. They just had to show up to the training. So we'd only see them during training, I remember. So they had a lot more leniency, whereas in basic training, the couple of guys I think I remember we had were basically just doing the same crap we had to do. The Takeoff Jay Devorno, thanks for hanging out. You ain't headed to South Texas? No, it would be the Fort Hood, Killeen area. What are some decent places to live? Is stationed there at Carson. Unaccompanied NCO won't be in the barracks due to pay grade. So yeah, if you're usually definitely E7, sometimes E6. But if you're just E5, you're probably still stuck in the barracks. But and if you're single anyways, at least. Like if you're married, yeah, then yeah. But places to live, I mean, Northern Springs is better. Fountain probably is usually a pretty popular area that people want to live in because it's a decent area and it's close to Fort Carson, so a lot of people like to live in the Fountain area. Most people try to avoid the southern part of the Springs because that's not the greatest. I guess it depends on which area in the southern part of the Springs, but most of the southern part of the Springs isn't the greatest. Farther north you go, it gets a little bit better. So, yeah, something like that. But a lot of people like to try to get Fountain because it's decent, it's good, and it's also pretty close to Carson, so it's usually a short drive. Took a family trip to Colorado for my 25th birthday. Garden of the Gods was nice. Took a stroll through 18th Street Mall. That's in Denver, though. And around the city. Thanks for answering my question, Chris. No problem, CJ. Yeah, I like Garden of the Gods. Garden of the Gods is fun. It's just super busy on the weekends, so that's a horrible time to go to Garden of the Gods. You have to go to the Garden of the Gods to explore around or go for a hike like on a weekday. Otherwise, you're fighting for parking spaces, and the parking spots are small, too. What was your favorite thing to do during downtime while on a deployment? Watch movies. Usually what I would do the most. We had like these, they're called the Haji shops, where you get DVDs, and a lot of them were pirated DVDs too. And a lot of us would like to like check out, like find some like cheesy movie and try to watch that, or watch some new movie that's filmed with a camcorder inside of a movie theater, just to kind of stay up on the movies. And so usually when I did have the free time, watching movies was usually my key thing. I think my first deployment, I bought some pirated version of like multiple seasons of Seinfeld. I think I watched a bunch of seasons of Seinfeld. My second deployment, I think it was a bunch of discs from Smallville. I ended up watching a lot of Smallville. My second deployment, and then movies in general. So when I did have free time, movies and watching TV shows. What would a platoon sergeant do? I mean, a lot of things. I have a video that kind of explains what people do at each rank, but a platoon sergeant's in charge of the platoon, so taskings come down from the first sergeant as far as what things need to be accomplished by that company or that troop or that battery or whatever. and that platoon sergeant's kind of in charge of making sure that that platoon does their part, for whatever their part is to do to get done, and organize it and keep accountability and all sorts of other things too. So there's a lot of things the platoon sergeant has to do. All right, maybe one last one. We're almost there, guys. 98 likes. I think we can do that. I don't think that's too much to ask for 2 more likes or more. So take a look down below. I know there's got to be at least 2 of you out there that can hit that like button down below and save us all from having to do 100 push-ups at the end of the stream, because that's the rule. You came here for this live stream, and if we don't get to 100 likes by the end of the live stream, it means you have to do 100 push-ups if we can't get 100 likes. 99 I see. It's got to be one more person. There we go. 101. Now don't be mean to be like, oh, I'm going to take away my like now. No, stick with it. Okay? No unliking. We got a super chat from VGMR. If we ever meet, I'm taking my external with me, and we can trade deployment movies. I still got all mine. You know, I wonder if I have all of my. I mean, all my movies are older ones, but I don't like some of my movies weren't. I probably still have. I think I do still have my like pirated DVDs though, but like the movies on the hard drive, I'm not 100% sure how many of those I had. Most of the movies I think I had were just pirated DVDs. But I had some pirated movies like on hard drive that other people would give me that they got from like that they got downloaded before they went on the deployment, and then we would trade some of those movies. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have some. Probably I don't know if it's a lot though. Like I said, most of mine I think are the just DVDs. But yeah, but that'd be cool. Good deal. Thanks VGMR for the super chat. Let's see. We have one last question to end on. Do push-ups anyway. Stay hard up. Exactly. Just do push-ups anyways. You want to get, especially if you're going to be going off to basic training or OSIT sometime soon. Just still do push-ups anyways. Get in that PT time. I got what is it? Is this be Haji bootlegs that have 3 to 4 movies to a disc? Yeah, I have some of those that are like that too, where it's like the Will Smith collection, and it's got like Independence Day and Men in Black, and you know, something like that. Like I think I have a few movies like that, and like the where they're like these little collections of like the same actor or something like that, or it's like, you know, the Matrix trilogy all in one disc. So yeah, those are kind of funny. I'm looking for to see if we had one more good question for in the stream. So key things here, guys. I'll be pushing out some information soon on how the giveaway is going to work. So we're going to do a giveaway. If you missed that from earlier, I was talking about that. Starting next month, we'll do a $100 gift card at the end of each month, and I'll have information on how to do that in the road to 100,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Possible meetup in the Fort Hood area. If I confirm that I am doing this and I'm going to be in that area, then I'll put out some information as to how to RSVP for it, so we can get an idea as to who is going to be in that area and who's going to be interested, so you can plan appropriately. Was there something else I was going to put out? I mean, there's links in the description box. So I think that was the 2 main things I wanted to put out, was about those kind of things. So yeah. We have one good final question. Looking for one final question to end on. How's the Scuttlebutt shoe doing? Great, doing good. Is he live right now? So you're on the chat during his gaming stream? Yeah, I'll pop into his stream every now and then. Is he streaming right now? Probably. No last final question. So just remember, guys, if I did not get your question, you didn't ask it, or you didn't want to ask it, or whatever the case was, or you think of it later, just go follow me on Instagram, right? If you do me a solid and follow me on Instagram and you hit me up with a question, I'll answer your question. So links to that down in the description box. Join the Discord. That's free. You can join the Discord and all that kind of fun stuff. I guess this will be the last question. This will be the final question right here from Mick Benz. MC Benz. I guess it's not. Is it Mick Benz? I don't know. Any tips for swimming better without getting in the water? I don't think that's possible. Is that possible? That's kind of like tips for running but not running. I don't think you can do that. So probably not. Just swim. That'd probably be the best way. I mean, you could probably get in shape, but hell, you could be in great shape and still be a crappy swimmer, though. So no, probably not. You probably have to swim. That's probably the only way to get better at swimming. Let's do this one. Maybe this will be the last question. This will be a good one. If you graduate basic before March 2022, you wouldn't have to do the ACFT. Now you might do it, but it won't matter if you pass or fail it. They'll probably still administer the ACFT, and they still are administering the ACFT to soldiers, but it's more for like familiarization and kind of see what it's like and get to experience it and be ready for it and know how to prepare for the ACFT. But if you fail it between now and March of 2022, it doesn't affect you, right? So if you're in basic training in January, let's say, of 2022, and you fail the ACFT, they won't hold you back because you fail the ACFT. They can still hold you back if you fail some tests, but the ACFT, they won't. Now, and then after March of 2022, then that's when they go back to, they're holding you those standards, and if you fail the ACFT at that point, then yeah, you could probably get held back until you can pass the ACFT. So yeah, that's how it'll kind of work. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming to hang out. We managed to get past 100 likes, so awesome. Unless someone wants to be an asshole and unlike their like, I don't know. But we're going to count it. Anyways, we're going to count it as we got to 100 likes or beyond. And cool deal. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Hit up the links down in the description box, all that kind of fun stuff. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. Next live stream, we'll probably have all the details already hashed out for the giveaway, so make sure you come to the next live stream so you can enter in the giveaway. That way, at the end of October, we can, you can have a chance to maybe win a $100 gift card from Amazon. So be on the lookout for that. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing evening, and I will see you next time. See ya.